90-Day Fiancé. Luke makes another poor money investment for Madeleine. Will their relationship really work? 90-Day Fiancé fans saw Luke make another bad investment decision for Madeleine to save their relationship. However, they aren't really compatible with each other due to issues arising between them. She neglected him by either blocking his contact or humiliating him with her awful words. Her tantrums earned her the title of spoiled brat. Madeleine criticized Luke for taking money very lightly since he invested in many businesses but gained almost nothing. She accompanied him to his spiritual cleansing session to ask the spellcaster if she could make him a bit more rational. She argued with him over his insufficient bank balance during their wedding planning. What financial move did he make that would fail him? Did he do it solely for her? 90-Day Fiancé. Madeleine got confused before nuptials with Luke. Madeleine had cold feet about Luke on 90-Day Fiancé before her wedding day. After she met his dad, she wondered whether pursuing their marriage was even the right decision. While the couple has faced bigger issues in their relationship, nothing appeared as significant as his stripper drama to her. What she promised for a future with him became a doubt for her. In a scene, Madeleine stood in front of a mirror for some time after she got ready for her wedding. Although she looked stunning, her thoughts unnerved her. She was confused, saying she didn't know if she was going to marry Luke. In another scene, he waited for her to arrive, with guests around him. Fans know that her trust was shattered after he did wrong at his bachelor's party. 90-Day Fiancé. Luke's present to Madeleine is a bad call with money. TLC released a sneak peek of the upcoming week's episodes of 90-Day Fiancé, The Other Way, Season 7. They saw Luke giving Madeleine yet another gift in a row, which was a dog. He surprised his wife-to-be with a cute Chow Chow puppy that she absolutely loved, making her ecstatic. Luke revealed that he quietly shifted some funds to buy Madeleine a pre-wedding gift since she was angry with him for many things. He doubted whether he had made the right decision to go out of his way to impress the Colombian native. He seemed to be mocking himself for making this last-minute move in the TLC confessional. In the next scene, Madeleine drove a car while Luke sat in the passenger seat holding their new family member. The reality stars discussed some important topics before their wedding. He proudly told her that he believed he had given her a pretty good life. But she frowned, thinking what the heck he even said. He noted she is always mad at him. Madeleine agreed, but reasoned out that it's Luke who got her mad every time. She complained that she never made her happy in their relationship. It pushed him to the edge of his seat, imagining how their marriage might be, since problems always exist between them. He replied, "Is this the kind of life I signed up for?" She cussed him for it. For all latest Luke and Madeleine's updates, stay tuned to TV season 90-Day Fiancé viewers, as fresh scenes reveal yet another poorly planned investment that may risk their emotional stability, financial security, and overall relationship foundation. Fans who have closely followed their rocky journey claim that Luke is trying too hard to buy Madeleine's affection rather than addressing root problems in their communication style, emotional compatibility, and long-term planning. The Colombian native's constant frustration, blunt criticisms, and emotionally charged outbursts have painted her as a spoiled brat to many, while Luke's financially reckless behavior showcases a pattern of impulsive decision-making expected to result in further consequences. Based on the sneak peek, he shifted funds silently to buy her an expensive Chow Chow puppy just before their wedding, despite earlier arguments over his insufficient savings. This triggered backlash as fans question whether the investment was purely for emotional compensation or a misguided attempt to salvage their broken dynamic. The full story began when Luke admitted in the TLC confessional that he had already made several business investments that delivered minimal returns, and yet, despite the warnings and ongoing relationship tensions, he once again chose to spend money unpredictably without proper financial structure. Madeleine, who has frequently accused Luke of being financially irresponsible, openly criticized him for taking money too lightly, stating that although he works hard, his decisions lack strategy, resulting in inefficiency and instability. Their arguments escalated during wedding preparations, especially when she discovered his bank balance was far below their expected marital budget. She claimed she did not want to enter marriage with someone who mishandles finances, especially when major life changes were ahead. Luke attempted to soothe her anger by proving his devotion through gifts, but this only provided temporary relief, as she interpreted these gestures as crisis-driven rather than genuine acts of care. Before their vows, Madeleine displayed signs of severe emotional hesitation. She stood in front of a mirror before walking down the aisle, visibly overwhelmed and questioning whether she should proceed with the wedding. The scene highlighted a woman grappling with inner doubts, worrying whether she could respect and trust Luke as a life partner. Her confusion stemmed not only from financial anxiety, but also from unresolved emotional patterns. Past relationship issues, including communication breakdowns and her perception of Luke's immaturity, resurfaced during that moment of silence. She admitted she wasn't sure she was going to marry him, even though she looked physically ready for the ceremony. Guests waited while Luke anxiously looked toward the entrance, unaware of her mental struggle. A deeper look into their relationship reveals recurring compatibility issues that go beyond financial mismanagement. Luke has repeatedly tried to please Madeleine using material gestures, while avoiding direct conflict resolution. This allowed tension to accumulate, resulting in explosive reactions from Madeleine, who expressed dissatisfaction not only with his monetary habits, but with his emotional consistency. She previously neglected him on multiple occasions by blocking his contact and reportedly using humiliating words during arguments, suggesting emotional immaturity and a lack of empathy. Some fans believe her behavior reflects entitlement and impulsiveness, often prioritizing her own frustrations over constructive dialogue. Others argue that her reactions stem from feeling repeatedly unheard by Luke, who masks real problems with last-minute fixes. The situation intensifies as Luke acknowledges in his confessional that he doubts whether his latest decision, purchasing the Chow Chow puppy using funds he could not afford to spare, was wise. He admitted he feared disappointing her further just before their wedding, explaining that he wanted to see her smile again. While she appeared ecstatic upon receiving the puppy, this moment of happiness was overshadowed by practical concerns regarding long-term care costs and financial stability. Viewers criticized this move as symbolic of short-term emotional compensation lacking true responsibility. Analysts suggest that joy derived from such costly surprises is temporary and may worsen underlying issues if not accompanied by deeper relationship efforts. In their car conversation immediately after obtaining the puppy, Luke proudly told Madeleine that he believed he had given her a pretty good life. His statement sparked discomfort, as she frowned and questioned what he even meant by such a comment. Luke claimed she was constantly angry at him, to which she responded that it was his actions that made her upset. She emphasized that she never felt genuinely happy in the relationship, stating that his decisions repeatedly failed to align with her expectations. This caused Luke to experience visible emotional strain, expressing for the first time his concern about the future of their marriage. He questioned whether that constant cycle of conflict was the reality he had signed up for, prompting an aggressive response from her, including curse words. Prior to their wedding, Madeleine also reflected upon his meeting with her father-in-law. She felt uncertain about familial compatibility, worried about long-term differences in values and relationship perspectives. Adding to that, the stripper drama during Luke's bachelor party deeply impacted her trust. She admitted that his behavior that night shattered the foundation on which she had built her commitment promises. Although she had initially envisioned a stable future with him, doubts resurfaced after she felt disrespected, embarrassed, and emotionally betrayed. Viewers recall that throughout the series, Luke handled his emotions privately, while Madeleine outwardly expressed hers, often escalating situations publicly. Their differing communication styles result in constant misalignment, with one partner seeking peace through compliance and the other demanding change through confrontation. Various episodes have displayed Luke's pattern of last-minute emotional purchases, from previous surprise gifts to unnecessary event arrangements. This despite his history of losing money in ventures that failed to yield meaningful progress. He often claimed he invested for their future, but with no clear business plan, leaving little financial protection. While his intentions may be rooted in love, the execution demonstrates poor financial literacy. Madeleine has argued that emotional gestures mean nothing if they result in instability. She has repeatedly emphasized the importance of securing a safe economic foundation before marriage. Her frustration stems from a fear of being burdened with long-term consequences due to his impulsiveness. Luke's spiritual cleansing session further showcased their contrasting viewpoints. When Madeleine accompanied him, rather than supporting the process, she asked the spellcaster whether something could be done to make Luke more rational. She did not openly embrace his spiritual beliefs, which may have hurt him emotionally, especially since he hoped the session would help him calm his mind before the wedding. Critically, instead of encouraging his inner peace, she used the opportunity to point out his flaws, reinforcing the belief that she views him as inadequately responsible. Viewers interpreted this as disrespectful, stating that her impatience contributes to a tense environment lacking mutual understanding. Social media reactions to this storyline are divided. Some viewers feel sympathy for Luke, labeling him a loving but misguided partner who is trying desperately to fix what he does not fully understand. They feel that Madeleine's harsh tone and tendency to degrade him during arguments demonstrate entitlement and emotional manipulation. Others argue that Madeleine is simply reacting to repeated disappointments, stating she has every right to demand accountability from someone she expects to share her life with. This debate highlights broader cultural differences and expectations in relationships where one partner believes in leading through sacrifice, while the other demands consistency and structured action. In their most recent pre-wedding altercation, the phrase, "Is this the kind of life I signed up for?" became one of the most alarming statements from Luke throughout the season. It highlighted the growing fear that he may not be able to handle the emotional toll of living with constant criticism. Madeleine's reaction, filled with profanity, demonstrated frustration, but also triggered audience concern about the sustainability of such communication patterns. Couples experiencing constant tension without constructive resolution often face accelerated breakdown in trust, affection, and partnership alignment. Experts watching the show highlighted that marriage requires mutual compromise, and while financial discipline is necessary, so is emotional tolerance and respect. Behind the scenes, producers have hinted that future episodes will reveal deeper concerns about their long-term compatibility. While Luke may be prepared to make further sacrifices to preserve the relationship, there are doubts whether Madeleine appreciates these attempts enough to shift her mindset from criticism to partnership. Psychological analysts following the storyline referred to emotional burnout as a possible outcome for Luke, noting that continuous efforts without reciprocation may lead to detachment or resentment. Meanwhile, Madeleine's continued focus on perfectionism and control may reduce her capacity to see positive traits in her partner, causing her to question whether marriage was the right step. The puppy gift, which became the central trigger of this latest argument, symbolizes both love and financial recklessness. A chow chow, known for high maintenance costs, may represent future financial responsibilities that Luke has not fully prepared for. The decision to shift funds secretly suggests a lack of transparency in financial planning, prompting concerns regarding hidden expenses in their marriage. Viewers argue that marriage should begin with honesty and structured plans, not emotional quick fixes. Some believe that Luke's actions inadvertently train Madeleine to expect solutions without compromise, reinforcing a cycle that may deteriorate over time. The countdown to their wedding remains filled with doubts. Madeleine's hesitation during the mirror scene reflects a deeper internal conflict between her desire for a stable future and her fear that Luke may never meet her expectations. Her admission that she did not know if she would marry him moments before the ceremony emphasizes the fragility of their commitment. Meanwhile, Luke's unwavering hope for reconciliation despite continual emotional strain portrays him as vulnerable, willing to endure hardship for love, but lacking boundaries necessary to maintain self-respect. As the show prepares for upcoming episodes, audiences anticipate crucial decisions regarding whether the couple will move forward with the wedding or reconsider marriage until deeper issues are resolved. Speculation suggests that more dramatic revelations may occur during the final days leading to the ceremony. Observers believe that financial decisions, trust reactions, and emotional control will be decisive factors in whether they reach their vows. Relationship experts recommend that rather than pursuing grand gestures, couples in similar situations should prioritize open dialogue, create joint financial plans, implement realistic expectations, and practice conflict resolution techniques. For now, the future of Luke and Madeleine remains uncertain. With the marriage approaching and lingering emotional wounds still unaddressed, fans await resolution to the question, did Luke's final pre-wedding investment fail him yet again, or will his efforts be recognized as sincere attempts to save his relationship? Only time will reveal whether the upcoming episodes lead to reconciliation or confirmation that their incompatibility, emotional division, and financial imbalance are too great to overcome. For ongoing coverage of Luke and Madeleine's journey, stay tuned to 90 Day Fiancé reporting outlets as the emotional intensity continues to rise. Despite efforts to maintain emotional stability, underlying tension between Luke and Madeleine continues to intensify as the reality of their choices becomes more evident. In the days leading up to the wedding, Luke struggles with growing emotional fatigue caused by repeatedly trying to prove his worth, while still being questioned on fundamental aspects of his capacity to lead responsibly in their relationship. With his most recent financial decision now under scrutiny, viewers argue that he is gradually realizing the emotional toll of consistently being placed under pressure. Mental health experts analyzing the couple's dynamics believe Luke may be experiencing early signs of internal conflict between his desire to be perceived as a strong provider and his fear of continuously disappointing his partner. The situation is proving emotionally draining, especially when attempts to satisfy Madeleine backfire due to lack of planning or practical strategy behind grand gestures. Rather than improving their connection, such decisions amplify tension, reinforcing her perception that his actions are guided by impulse